Hey girl, let's talk crime. So tonight we are going to be discussing the case of Levi Cole Ellerby. I want to give a trigger warning that this does involve the killing of a child. If that is something that is triggering to you, I ask you to not only not watch the video, but also do not like it. Hanna Nicole Baker was just 22 years old when her life and the life of her son, Levi Cole, took a devastating turn. So she was a single mother living in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and she was described by people who knew her as someone that was struggling with the responsibility of motherhood. So her friends and neighbors would say that she was often inconsistent with her parenting. One moment she was extremely loving and caring to Levi, and the next she was very distant and overwhelmed. Levi, who was an innocent baby, only 6 months old, who put a smile on those around him, was seen as a burden for the most part by his mother, Hanna. So Levi was pretty much an obstacle to the life that Hanna wanted to live. Investigators would later say that Hanna held a lot of resentment toward Levi, and this led to a chain of events that would end in tragedy. So on the evening of July 17, 2018, Hanna called 911 and stated that 2 masked men had broken into her home. She stated that they had sprayed her with what she thought was mace, forcing her to flee her home, leaving Levi behind, and when she returned, he was gone. This story took an even more tragic turn when firefighters would respond to a fire in the woods about a mile away from Hanna's home, and there they found baby Levi. He was severely burned, but he was still alive. He was then taken to the hospital where unfortunately he did pass away from his injuries. So initially, investigators were looking for these 2 masked men that Hanna said had broken into her home. But the more they listened to her, the more they found inconsistencies in her story, that there really was no sign of a break-in, and then there was no witnesses that seen anything suspicious around her home. There was a broken window on the back of Hanna's trailer, and it was said that the fingerprints on this broken window, as well as there was blood, it belonged to a woman, 26-year-old Felicia Smith. Nobody really knew who Felicia was in Hanna's family. Felicia was someone that Hanna worked with at IHOP, and she had something to say. So Felicia tells authorities that this was all Hanna's idea. She had orchestrated the entire plan. According to Felicia, she stated that Hanna no longer wanted to care for Levi and she wanted him dead. It was alleged that there was a sexual relationship between the two, and Hanna allegedly played on Felicia's vulnerabilities, telling her, "If you loved me, you would do anything for me, including jail time." Felicia stated that at first, Hanna asked her to shoot Levi. However, the gun that they were going to use was jammed because someone put the bullets in backwards. And that is when his mother, Hanna, told Felicia that she wanted Levi to be burned to his bones. That way, there would be no evidence. And for some reason, Felicia agreed. So on that night, Felicia came to Hanna and Levi's trailer. She took Levi about a mile away between some railroad tracks and like a woodsy area, put him face down on the ground, put gasoline on him, and set him on fire. So Levi's mother, Hanna, was arrested on first-degree murder, which made her eligible for the death penalty. The prosecutors were really focusing on her cold demeanor, a lot of the evidence, which was the conversations between her and Felicia, as well as Felicia's testimony. So the defense was trying to say that Hanna was just this single mother that was, poor, and stressed and overwhelmed, and that she just made really bad decisions under stress. However, the jury wasn't having it. In November 2022, Hanna Barker was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. And Felicia Smith, the one who committed the murder, was given a plea deal in exchange for her testimony, and she was sentenced to 25 years in prison without the possibility of parole.